frequency radio here live, not exclusively on the New Visions Radio Network, audibly on the New Visions Radio Network, and simulcasting on our YouTube channel. Alex.
Yo.
Are you there?
I am.
Are you sure?
I'm trying to be.
Are you awake?
Nope.
What?
Yes, I'm awake.
Sure.
Yeah.
Got to make sure here.
I'm good.
What's new and exciting?
Nothing. I'm trying to be.
How come you keep breaking up?
What do you mean I keep breaking up?
Your audio is kind of keeps breaking up a little.
Maybe it's your end. Gareth, can you hear me properly?
Yeah, I saw you sound loud and clear.
You know, it's funny just watching Alex there. When you took a drink, your glass disappeared.
Yeah, I know. It's
So
magic.
It looked like
It's magic.
You weren't drinking anything.
Looks like someone got a green screen.
Yeah. Did he get a green screen? Or are you just using the Skype green
I'm
screen?
just using the Skype one.
It's the Skype green
I was
screen.
going to say. So it looks like he's got like the logos embedded in the side of his head.
Mm-hmm. Looks like that guy from Empire Strikes Back. You know what I'm talking about?
Justin, I think your audio's gone. Now he's gone.
Now he's gone. Now he's gone.
Oh, now we can hear him.
Now we can hear him. Now he's back.
That's what I get for having touchscreen. There you go. Yeah. I was about to say he's the ghost now.
We actually figured out what Justin actually is. He's a trickster.
Yes, yes.
He's a trickster. So how are you guys doing? Thanks for coming on tonight.
Doing good.
Doing good, yeah. Thanks for having us on.
What's
great to be here.
new and exciting with Mindset?
Nothing new or exciting, really. Just the usual rigmarole. We did a podcast this morning, which was great. 2.5 hours. Been a little slow on the live streams recently. Haven't found the time to actually do like a legit one. I've jumped on Periscope every once in a while. I know Justin's been on with me once or twice.
Yeah.
But not nearly as much as I would like. Just don't have the time for it, but I'd like to do more.
I can't believe that thing is still going. I totally forgot about Periscope.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah? Is it?
There's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, it's happening.
I mean,
There's a lot of stuff.
I remember using that when it first came out
Uh-huh.
for a bit, and then I just got bored of it.
Well, you know,
I think
it's like that
Justin's on there every night, right? He's on there like every night.
Yeah, kind of.
So we're chilling with Jay, right? Chilling.
Yeah.
Chilling-
Oh,
chilling,
yeah.
Well, he's got to be on Periscope because he got banned on Facebook.
Yeah. Got banned on Facebook for posting nothing that would hurt anybody, that's for sure.
What did you get banned for? What did you do?
I posted a YouTube video that was that had Proud Boys in the title, and it's basically a satirical video on the Proud Boys, and that's what Facebook canned me for. I posted something that was against their community standards, which I'm assuming Proud Boys is against their community standards. So
you love that community standards.
Yep. Yeah.
What community are we talking about here? Come on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it depends on some of, people don't know. I mean, the Proud Boys, they started with Gavin McGinnis, who actually was one of the co-founders of Vice. And he's said and has some interesting points of view, which some could, I guess, paint the way he conveys some of the stuff. You can paint it as something, some sort of racist kind of. It's more of a nationalist type of point of view, which I guess gets misconstrued as racism. But which I mean, realistically, in my perspective, nationalism and racism are about the same to me, to be honest with you. Given how we, separate ourselves based on some random place we were born at, and I'm just like we would be basing ideas and ideologies on some random skin color. I feel it's the same kind of basics of it. But overall, that's where it started, and eventually he kind of initiated this group, which they consider Proud Boys, which they stand kind of by some basically conservative ideas which is basically a man does the work, the woman stays at home, serves the man, and they have a 1-unit household type of stuff, and everyone has jobs and pays taxes and shit like that. So there has been some.
That sounds great.
Yeah, well, sounds
pays taxes and shit like that.
Yeah. Well, it sounds good, but when there's religious undertones to it. That's there's a lot. They believe in having God in your. I should have added that into that as well. They have religious undertones, which is usually what a lot of conservatism is based off of, or at least here in America. And they could really turn some people away from them based on some of their beliefs. And the video I posted was more of a satirical take on it. I believe the channel is called All Gas No Brakes. I suggest everyone to check it out because it's great. They got insight from this. I think Occupy Wall Street at some point. The guy's been doing it for a while. But yeah, and of course, if I could try to find a video, I think it's on my Twitter, so you could always search it there. Twitter doesn't do anything to me. So
I discovered though that Facebook is becoming very, very censorship pro.
Of course,
so much so that we have that group chat on Facebook that we post silly stuff in there occasionally.
Yes.
I attempted to post some text that was making fun of Trump, and it would not let me post it. And I thought, well, this maybe there's something wrong with the program. So I tried posting it in another application. It was no problem, but it was only in Facebook Messenger. It wouldn't even take it. It would not let me post it to the group.
I can't even post certain links for like years. I couldn't even post bestgore.com, which, as people know, is one of my favorite sites. But when I share certain things, I go directly, and that's one of the sites, and I can't even post that. So I mean, it's been doing it for a while, and I mean, it's Facebook, whatever. I mean, there's other websites. I'm not gonna.
I know, but you're in a private group, right, with friends talking. You should be able to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
And that is true too.
To me, it's very disconcerting that they're censoring like that in a Now, if it was a public space, okay, I'm not really for that, but I kind of get where they're coming from. But when you're in a private group, it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Incredible. It's Facebook though. I mean, what more can you expect? I mean, it's the evolution has been just incredibly flawed.
Yeah.
You look at it, at its beginnings, this college sort of layout.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it starts to reach outside the colleges. Oh wow, Facebook. What's Facebook?
Yeah.
Why didn't they call it Facebook?
Yeah.
And then think about it, Facebook.
Mark got the idea when he got a book thrown at his face.
Yeah. But when you look at all the information that Facebook has on you,
Wait, what do you mean on me? Come on, hey.
On any of us,
No, it's just a huge information harvesting machine.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been wanting to quit Facebook for forever.
Yeah.
But I have so much family and friends on there that's the only way I can keep in touch with them. Otherwise, I would have bailed years ago.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, that's basically what I use it for.
Social mediums pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Give them a try. They just don't seem to have the success that Facebook's been able to have. I mean, grant you, a lot of the kids are like, Facebook, that's for old people.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's almost perfect. Like, I don't know any other social network platform that you can literally integrate with practically everything you use. And realistically, I like that ease, besides the censorship we've been dealing with. But I mean, you have everything that you can just go right to Facebook with, But I use multiple social networks and always have. I used to use TweetDeck and stuff like that. So really, the only problem with Facebook with me now is unless I start barking up the right trees, I can't live stream for 60 freaking days. That's a long time. That's the only reason why I have it.
What is it called? TwinTech? What?
Oh, TweetDeck.
TweetDeck. Oh,
Twitter client.
Yeah.
It all comes down to how much you don't care about your personal information. If you don't care about people harvesting all of your information, using it against you and selling it, then you got no worries. You just sign on to everything, and away you go. If you do care about it, then you got a problem. The other day I was fooling around with Discord, and I was playing, and I was like, man, this application is awesome. And I'm on there, and all of a sudden Justin pops up. Hey, dude. I'm like, Justin's on Discord. This is great. And then someone posted me and says, no, do not use Discord. It's spyware. So I did some research, and guess what? It's spyware. It logs all of your keystrokes and harvests all of your information and stores it on their servers and gives it to pretty much anyone who asks for it. So I immediately uninstalled it.
So really, I mean, I actually had somewhat of this discussion just recently on a live stream. I did a recent chilling with Jay, which I'm updating my websites. And if you check the website, I have one episode update because quite a bit I got to update for each episode. But we were talking about that. Look at that. And I think the biggest problem is, what Gareth's saying about them selling our data. And I find that the biggest issue. If we just fight for that. What the hell is that? We would do it. Is that a death whistle?
Yeah, that is indeed.
That's Steve's new toy.
Yeah.
A death whistle.
Death whistle.
All right.
Actually, for a piece of plastic, actually, I'd love to get some real ones.
I have a life whistle here if you want to hear it.
I wish I had something to drink today. I need to go get something.
This is the Parlour trick I brought for the show tonight, by the way.
Oh,
Justin.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Justin. This one's for you, Justin.
Go ahead.
There you go. And Justin appeared. So tell us about that. Tell us about the death whistle, Steve. I'm completely unfamiliar with that thing. What's the story?
The Aztec death whistle. Basically, it was, from what I understand, they were originally made from bone, and it's really weird. There's several different variations, but I mean, this one here, this is like a replica, obviously. What?
Go ahead.
Oh, and basically, when you blow into it, you blow hard enough, it sounds like a scream.
Can you get a little more? Oh.
Like, I don't want to go too loud because
I can hear that.
Did you get that online, or?
I got it from a local market.
Did you carve it out of your enemy's skull?
I think it was 3D
3D printed.
Yeah, 3D printed rendition of it. But I mean, basically, the original ones I think were bone clay or made out of clay, and basically has like a hole in it at the top of the skull, and then it has these 3 little strips in the back that give it that sort of screaming sort of sound to it. At first, I was kind of like, how well? Like I was watching there's one dude I don't know, or somewhere down there in the States, he makes his own, and I don't know if they're plastic or not, but excuse me, he'd go in the middle of the forest and shoot videos of him blowing into this thing, and holy crap, they sound eerie. Wow. It sounds like literally somebody's being killed.
Yeah. It's supposed to scare your opponents.
It's supposed to, basically supposed to scare your opponent. And I don't know. Maybe that's what we heard in the forest, Alex, in the woodlot.
Yeah, maybe.
How's your film coming along?
Coming along pretty good, man. I just did the second teaser. Just released the second teaser for it.
I got that loaded up too.
Yeah, for the breaks.
For the break,
awesome. There's a lot of footage. I want to get a little bit more footage. Some filling in some blanks there, and it's an interesting little place, that's for sure. Alex, what are your thoughts of it?
So it's a very interesting place. It's too bad I wasn't there when you guys caught a visual of something, running or walking across. But even when I was there the last time, we all heard kind of like a little wailing sound. And
Yeah, and you did hear that sound.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It's odd. I can't. I just it doesn't compute. Like I was listening to animal noises to see if it sort of compares to it, like coyote or some other animals that might be local, and nothing compares to it. It's just really weird.
And you caught this on audio? You got it recorded?
Oh yeah, I've got it recorded. It's in the new trailer. In the new trailer, you can slightly hear it. Slightly before you hear me say, "There's that wailing sound again," right?
What's your best guess as to what it is?
I don't know. I can't. No. I'm honestly baffled.
We tried to eliminate the obvious. Like, I mean, the area we were in was not too close to roads, but anyone could argue, okay, is it squealing tires, for example?
And that's what it kind of sounded like. It kind of sounded like in the beginning, or at least that's what Gord thought it sounded like. But no, I mean, there was squealing tires recorded. There was engines revving recorded. Nothing. This thing literally sounds like it's a part of wind almost. It sounds very, I don't know, very haunting. That's for sure. Very haunting. And
you weren't near a street or a road or anything. You were pretty deep into the forest.
Well, like, I mean, the forest, the woodlot itself is away from the roads. I mean, it's surrounded. But I mean, and sound carries. And when I was basically comparing it to all the other sounds that were playing out those 4 nights that we recorded. Nothing. This thing was literally pretty much in the forest with us. Like it was pretty in almost in the direct area, not outside.
Would you class it as like an animal sound or a human sound, machine sound?
Not a machine sound, no. And that's not a machine sound. I thought maybe it was an animal sound. So, like I said, I was listening to some noises that animals make, and I can't nothing. And like local animals, like coyotes and stuff like that.
Right.
They make all sorts of weird and wailing noises, but nothing like this. This is just eerie as hell, man.
Wow.
Very eerie. I don't know. Somebody pointed out, could it be Bigfoot? And I go, no, not in that's too small of an area. I mean, there is. It's large, but it's not large. I mean, it's not huge.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
You forgot to hit mute on the button there.
Someone's getting yelled at.
Yeah, someone's telling me dinner's ready. I think you can wait till the break. I thought I hit mute.
I can come over for dinner.
Yeah.
Well.
Wait, Alex,
my bad.
I heard that wailing sound again.
I did, yeah, we heard it.
My bad.
This is what you hear coming out of the forest.
Spooky.
Did you have any meters going, Steve? Like that?
No. I had a meter with me, but I didn't have it going. Basically, we just had the recorders going and visual. We kind of had for the first couple nights, we just wanted to get a feel for what we were going to get, and then the third night, which Alex wasn't a part of, that's when things really started to ramp up. We started getting really weird noises, like that wailing sound. There was like a sound, metal sound, like a sign hitting a wood post, or a swing, like that metallic sort of sound. And there's nothing in that area that's metallic like that. We couldn't figure it out what it was, and I managed to capture that sound as well on audio. And there was like Gord had heard what sounded like a balloon deflating. It was a really odd sound, and again, I managed to capture that sound on audio. Very weird stuff. It just didn't make any sense.
But when you're out in the middle of nowhere like that, and it's at night too, right? It's dark. Your senses are heightened.
Sure, but I mean, when you're capturing this stuff on audio too, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very true.
Is Justin okay?
Justin's being amused.
Yeah, just checking out the chat. That's all.
Oh yeah, your Wolfman jacking us.
Yeah. Actually, I trimmed up since last time, so it's not as bad. Yeah, I don't know why my lighting sucks this time, but I'll figure that out later.
Yeah, lighting is hard. I'm trying to figure out my lighting too. I can never get it right. It's very difficult. So sometimes I'll set it up and it'll be perfect, and other times it's like it's all over the place.
Lighting. What's that?
Lighting.
Yeah, exactly. Lighting. Never heard of it.
It's a real challenge.
You guys want some studio lighting? I can hand you some over. I've got tons of it over here.
Have you
what
really?
happened to Justin? Yeah.
I think he fell.
Yeah, I fell.
I've fallen. I can't get up. He's going to do the clapper next.
It's that stogie he was smoking.
Yeah, that'll knock me out.
The special brew.
The special brew. Anyways, okay, we're going to take a break here. But when we come back, we'll talk about part of a lot of these paranormal groups on Facebook and all this kind of stuff, and I posted, I think, on a little chat with you guys.
Yeah.
This woman had bought one of those paranormal teddy bears for like $270 fucking dollars.
Jesus Christ!
And I sit there and go,
what does the teddy bear do?
And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Okay. All right.
It's just one of the many different paranormal gadgets that are out there right now.
Yeah.
And we got to thank, the paranormal TV shows for those.
Yeah.
Are they parlor tricks? Do they really work? I mean, we can't really tell. Do they really work? I mean, we can assume, theorize, whatever. But we'll talk about that stuff and more when we come back. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at Dark Discussions. Facebook, type in facebook.com/Nocturnal Frequency Radio for our page there, which is probably the most updated of all the social medias that we keep. And of course, Instagram. Facebook, type in facebook.com.
Sorry. Who's got the reverb?
I hate hearing my voice. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're watching and listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here on newvisionsradio.com, and of course, our YouTube channel. We'll be right back. you hear that? Sounded like a scream.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
Was out. You hear that? Guys, over here. Again, that wailing noise. Look, what's that? What's that? There was something fucking moving over there. You see that? You saw that, right? It was fucking white. And welcome back to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here live on the New Visions Radio Network, and of course simulcasted live on our YouTube channel. So if you're listening to us or watching us, thank you for tuning in or watching us. Tonight we've got our good friends Justin Villerreal and Gareth Davies of the Mindset Podcast.
It's just his avatar right now.
Yeah, he's feeding his face right now, right? We'll leave him in peace. So let's talk about this. These paranormal goodies, Justin. Let's talk about this bear. What's the bear's name again? What are the bears? Boo Buddy.
Which one?
It's called the Boo Buddy Ghost Hunter Interactive Bear. and you can actually buy it on Amazon as well.
Oh, great!
I know.
And so, what does it consist of? What's the innards of the?
Okay, so I'll read you the details of this thing. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is not your average bear. Boo Buddy has the attractive good looks and so much more. Boo Buddy is not just an EMF bear, but an interactive investigator, asking questions and reacting to any changes in the environment like a human investigator. Boo Buddy's mission is to investigate the paranormal, thus promoting positive response and letting us know when the environment changes. Boo Buddy asks EVP questions in order to trigger a response. If anything changes, EMF, motion, temperature, Boo Buddy will respond appropriately, letting us know that he may not be alone. I can't even read. I don't even want to read anymore. This thing's about 10 inches tall when it's sitting. So in other words, we don't need human investigators in an investigation, it seems. Just put the bear in there and it'll take care of it all.
Yeah. It's like a Teddy Ruxpin that hunts ghosts. That's really what it is.
Well, yeah, and it's like what, $270 freaking dollars.
Yeah, I could see that. So it's testing EMFs, it's recording, and it's outputting various phrases to initiate to trigger some kind of reaction of some sort.
My issue is, again, like Boo Buddy, ghost hunting, interactive bear. Okay, and again, that is a selling point, obviously. Detects changes in EMF. Okay, so now most people when they hear the word EMF, they think a ghost finder.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, okay, so let's spell it out here. What exactly?
I always think of an early '90s techno band when I hear EMF.
Exactly. What is technically what is an EMF meter for, Justin?
To pick up electromagnetic radiation. That's what it's for, and that's for surrounding areas. And depending on the particular model you have cell phones, natural EMFs, which are geological radiation coming from obviously underneath the earth there. And that's what essentially it does.
So, okay, when you're employing this in, paranormal investigation, what's the employment? What does that entail?
For me, as general as people hear it, you get the base reading. You kind of go around to see what picks up. And then essentially the unit really is not made to be walked around with. You want to keep it stationary. Mm-hmm. So I personally end up having multiple meters of various, brands. And I also have some of those E-pods. So I place them around to kind of create a perimeter and then use my EMF readers, which actually have a stand on there. So you can register every area within what you're trying to investigate.
Let people know what an E-pod is.
It's essentially just the EMF reader, but with just a light that senses variation. So as soon as any EMF frequency comes about, it starts becoming brighter. So that's how you can measure the strength of an EMF frequency, is how bright it gets.
So when the lights get brighter, does that mean you found a ghost?
Yes, theoretically, I guess you could say that. Or a microwave went on, or it's near something that's generating an EMF field, which could be underground lines. People don't realize that as well, that those, depending on amperage, you can trigger a lot more radiation because of that. Or they could be dormant because, certain power in that area is not being used. So that could be also anomalous. But that's what I use it for. I started to use it thinking when I first got into it over 20-something years ago, that it was because I'm sensing ghosts. That's what I thought it was. But as I've done it and done more research on the particular subject of EMF radiation and the effects on people, I see it now more as something that might inhibit or, not inhibit, but initiate paranormal experiences, or maybe charge. I would use the word charge possible areas to have paranormal experiences.
So, in other words, an EMF is not essentially to detect ghosts, but to give you an idea of the unseen aspects of the area, much like a carbon monoxide detector.
Yes, because both those things can harm you. EMF radiation can harm you in various forms. Yes.
And not a lot of people know that. Not a lot of people, like when you tell them about EMF frequencies, they're like, "What?
Yeah.
What are those? Like, what do you mean?" And then when you tell them, "Oh yeah, there's something that can detect them, that can read them, just similar to a carbon monoxide detector," and you kind of figure, well, why isn't every household equipped with one of these?
That's a good question.
EMF of electromagnetic fields. It's tied to kind of ghost hunting, because if you're in the presence of a strong electromagnetic field, you start to feel as if you're being watched, and you start to feel that there's a presence in the room with you, even though there's none. So the electromagnetic field is influencing your brain in some way.
Yes.
Because you find this with people who live under these ginormous power lines, where they build.
Yes.
Oh, my house is haunted. I'm in an empty house. There's nobody here. I feel like there's someone watching me, or there's someone in the room. And it's purely down to the electromagnetic frequencies that are bleeding from these power lines into their environment and affecting their behavior.
Absolutely.
So I can see why there's a connection there. As far as the Boo Bear, it's it reminds me of this was big, like maybe 20 years ago, where babysitters were beating kids. and the parents wanted to catch the babysitters, so they buy this bear with a camera hidden, and then they'd film the babysitter beating the shit out of their kids.
Yeah.
It sounds like that kind of thing, the bear's just sitting there, but his eyes are a camera or something filming this demented evil piece of garbage. Yeah, nanny cam kind of thing.
Yeah, we're gonna spy on the ghosts. We're gonna make sure the ghosts aren't attacking humans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we've had so many reports of demonic activity and scratching and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's a great marketing though. We'll call it the Boo Bear. It's like it's genius.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. It's like I say, it's like the Wild West. You can think of something and it would fly.
Yeah.
In the paranormal, if you were to basically think of something like, for instance, I influenced a guest that we had on a few weeks ago, Tim Shaw, he's a well-known personality in the paranormal. And I was talking with him and saying, "Hey, look, man, I remember bringing in an old Etch-a-Sketch and picking it up on eBay from the 60s and bringing that out to a few investigations. I mean, you can basically employ anything.
Yeah, right.
In these, because I mean, look at we're going on based on theory. We experiences and stuff.
Well, these tools, as whether they work or not. And I think it's a mixed bag. I think some are, you get some stuff from it, and some are just nonsense. But it all has to do with expanding our senses. We only have 5 senses to play with. So adding these tools, the legitimate ones, not the Boo Bear, expands our senses. So we can actually record and or experience things that otherwise we wouldn't be able to detect.
But the problem with that is it's an extension of those 5 senses that we have trouble conveying with in the first place. And then all of a sudden you're going to bring in, well, look at, you bring in a camera, for instance, and you're taking shots. Oh, look at these orbs I've got here, and look at, you take a picture of your hair, and oh wait, I don't have any, but you get a strand of hair, and the f-stop is going all crazy on it because it can't focus on it properly, and you've got like a vortex. And the problem is these people don't know how to use these extensions properly.
Well, overall, we don't know how to use EMF readers. I mean, look at me starting off just going out, oh, this detects ghosts, when it took me probably years of using it and kind of of course, try to tell me what milligauss certain things are. I'm not going to be able to know, but at least I become familiar with levels of different types of radiation and what exactly it's picking up. And most of the paranormal field doesn't know that. Even the information that I knew then at 16 years old is literally the same information some people are applying at 30 years old, or even people who have been in as long as we have. I'll consider Gareth part of the field as well, but as long as we have, still will apply these devices the same way. And of course, every sucker is born a minute. They of course are going to buy they're going to buy these things, and I see it everywhere.
But yeah, I mean, but there has to be. We use, you use cameras, you audio equipment to try and record reality, right? You're recording light and you're recording sound, hoping that you're going to pick something up. But there's many times that your eyes and your ears will see and hear something, but your equipment will not, and vice versa.
Yeah.
All right. So there is something to be said with having some kind of methodology and some kind of tool set with you to capture evidence and to kind of expand your view of what's around you, right?
My problem is, and it always has been, the word evidence. When you're looking at a lot of this, is theory based, obviously. We simply can't. The way I look at it, you can't really claim it to be evidence if we simply don't know. Interesting findings. A finding. Look at this. Possibly, yeah. But I think my favorite tool is a recorder, an audio recorder.
Audio recorder, right?
Yeah, I think it's my favorite tool. Even I even went as far as to buy a little mini Faraday pocket for them.
Oh, okay.
To block all signal.
So it blocks all external signals, cell, radio, whatever. And some of the findings, if you will, are just incredible.
What about the things like a flashlight or a light or something where, and the thing that I find interesting, now whether or not this is real, I don't know. Maybe you can enlighten me. But on extremely rare occasions, when you ask a specific question and say blink the light for a yes, and it happens, and it happens consistently for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's significant. Would you not agree or no?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't discount it, but I mean, my rational mind, my skeptical mind would think, okay, what was the process? Let's try to recreate. We can't recreate it. Okay, obviously there might have been something going on. Who knows?
Yeah. And that's the problem we have with the paranormal is that you can't put scientific methodology to the paranormal because it's so random.
Yeah.
It's not testable, right?
Not all the time, no.
Because
most of the time
the paranormal plays by the paranormal's rules, not by the scientific rules.
Well, I mean, look at the word paranormal. It just simply means unknown to our current understanding right now.
Yeah.
And it just, a lot of people seem to think that, well, no, science can't explain this, but when you really look at a lot of segments of the paranormal, science can explain it. But people just don't look at it.
Well,
even the most baffling stuff, though, the stuff that's not, you say, well, science can't explain that, and you would say, well, yeah, you know what, you're absolutely right. Currently, science cannot explain it,
and that's why it's the unknown.
Sometime in the future, that may change.
Well, exactly, and I mean, people don't understand the reason why it's called the paranormal. The field or the edge of the field is what science can explain and what science can't. And people will say, well, science, screw science. But no, that's the reason why you have the paranormal field.
Yeah.
And
if it wasn't for science, there would not be that paranormal field. It would all be based
on superstition and religion.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which it slightly is, but the same people that say that are using scientific equipment to measure supposedly.
Exactly.
But the biggest problem is our perception of it. Because I agree. I agree with Gareth. I agree with both of you because it's a like the electron. It's either here or it's there. All right. Yeah. So we have a base understanding of what may cause paranormal experiences, but we really don't know what our paranormal experience. Let alone we don't know what demons are, all these different, we can't really, at that point we can't measure, but we can measure electromagnetic fields. Go ahead, Gareth.
No, I was going to say, I had an old book called The Ghost Hunter's Guide by have you got that book?
I think I got
Peter,
that one,
Peter Underwood.
Yeah, Peter Underwood.
And he was saying that the tools one takes on a nighttime vigil is you take your tape recorder, you take your camera, you take a flashlight, you take some talcum powder or some flour, and some string.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
chalk.
Chalk, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
And again, those are like basic tools that were like the grassroots sort of approach to paranormal investigation or ghost hunting.
That's from
or
like
whatever.
the 30s and the 40s with that that kind of stuff,
The Houdini, they were like Houdini and all his crew were actually trying to initiate some actual equipment to test this. You had the light bulb that turned on and off and on. I think there was a thing with gas that they were trying to use, and just all sorts of things to measure psychic experience. Well, they were studying psychic experiences. That's what they came out to. But they had equipment. There was a base with talcum powder and such, because if we're having physical experience with the paranormal, that would be it. But overall, what we're doing, and even this bear, the use of this bear, the application of this bear is not that bad. It is another aspect. Because we do what I do. How about that? What I do when I go to certain places, if I can set up equipment in a room by itself, I will do that. And I will leave and go focus on another area, and then I'll switch off. You know what I'm saying?
But let me ask you: is it worth $270?
Well, probably not. But with all the equipment put together, you're probably getting close to that. With a video camera and a digital recorder, because my digital recorder was like almost $100 when I bought that, and it's just, it's that, that was, of course, like 7 years ago, but, you're adding up price, but to have a bear, yes, because in some sense you could trigger this in like a children's ward, an abandoned children's ward. So there is some application for that, and you do want to test the paranormal without the influence of the human observer, because that's the biggest aspect of this. What is it? Does the tree fall? If no one's there in the forest and the tree falls, does anyone hear it? That's what we're trying to solve here.
His name is Gord, Dr. Demon Gord.
Well, I mean, if you got money to burn, then the bear boo is a great deal.
Of course,
but for most people, $275 for a stuffed fucking toy,
exactly,
it's a goof.
You already have it in your phone.
Yeah.
I want a Boo Bear for Christmas.
I was just thinking that. Dear Santa, I would like a Boo Bear and an EMF meter, please.
And a demon to go along.
It's funny because what was it? Like 10 years ago, I think they came out with this Ghost Hunters video camera, and it was a little handheld thing, and you pull the trigger and it would start recording video. And in night vision, it was a neat little thing. I remember seeing it when I was down in your neck of the woods, down south of the border, and it was going for like $25. I'm like, $25? I'm gonna grab a couple of these. How can you not go? You could use this.
Yeah, you go wild with that shit. $25 for a
guilty.
camera?
I know. I'm guilty.
Yeah.
I've used a lot of odd stuff in investigations that have, actually kind of produced some really interesting findings.
Well, when you say findings, you mean evidence, right? No. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
Like the Etch-a-Sketch. I mean, the Etch-a-Sketch actually sketched something out using the knobs. But the thing was there something magnetic around it to cause that, to influence?
Sure.
That's the thing.
When we were talking earlier about early ghost hunting tools, a story popped into my head in regard to UFO contactee Whitley Strieber. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Oh yeah.
He's the comedian guy. And back in the late 80s, he had a cabin up in upstate New York where he was getting a lot of encounters with, visitors, extraterrestrials, aliens, interdimensionals, who knows, whatever. He's interacting with something that's not human, and he would invite people. You got the spittoon going over there, Justin? What is that?
Yep.
He would invite people to the cabin, and they would all have experiences. And he set up a network of video cameras in the cabin to try and capture these aliens when they entered the cabin. And he could never capture them. They would always go off at the right moment, or the tape would be blank, or it would never ever capture. And one of his friends said, "Why don't you sprinkle talcum powder all over the floor before you go to bed to see if you catch footprints?" And he said, "Okay." So they tried it, and that night it was a major night. There was a major encounter. Everyone in the house experienced something. And the next morning, he went to check the powder, and this is the wild part. He didn't find footprints. He found little points, like as if like little hoof marks, and the swish of like a tail in the powder.
Jeez.
Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah.
It's very, very strange.
Actually, I was
just thought I'd throw that out there.
No, that's. I remember hearing that story. He was on. Wasn't he? He was on Coast to Coast talking about that one time, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Remember hearing that on Coast to
many
Coast.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating, and I'm one of those crazy people that actually believe Whitley. I don't think he's a bullshit artist. I think he's being honest. So there you have it, folks.
Honest in the sense that perhaps
he's not lying.
No, I get that, but his perception, or I don't know how to put this, but his understanding of what's happened to him,
mm-hmm.
as opposed to it not being extraterrestrial, but actually man-made.
Extra testicle.
Extra testicle, yes.
But something happening to him
mm-hmm.
that might not have been extraterrestrial, but something very human, but in a sense where it.
No, he doesn't claim that it's extraterrestrial.
Okay.
If you ask him, like, what do you think this thing is that's happening, he'll be completely honest and say he does not know. All he's certain of is whatever it is, it's not us.
Yeah.
It's not us.
Mm-hmm. But as to what it is, whether it's aliens or interdimensionals, or he has no clue. And I think that's kind of refreshing, because he'll actually say, I have no idea. All I know is that it's not us. It's not humans. It's something else. But as to what that something else is, I have no idea.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's really screwed up. Yeah. Gareth is getting really deep on us here.
He is, yeah.
It must be the Firestone.
It must be.
The Firestone's kicking in, right?
But the attitude you get with something like that, and I did sense it a little bit with you there, Steve, and it's a little bit like a guy sees a Bigfoot, and he goes home and he tells his brother, he says, "My God, I saw a Bigfoot. It got real close to the car. I saw it." And his brother says, "No, you didn't. You didn't see a Bigfoot." and he says, "Well, how do you know I didn't see it?" And he said, "Because they don't exist." And he's like, "Yeah, but I saw it."
Bigfoot's
yeah,
a
but you
story. I know.
I'm making an analogy, but you couldn't have seen it because they don't exist. You see, because in his brother's worldview, what he's describing cannot be possible. Therefore, it's not. Did you see the point I'm making?
No. Absolutely. I'm.
You just got healthy skepticism.
Well, yeah, I have that, but you'd be surprised what I believe.
Tell me.
He believes the tooth fairy.
Give us a clue.
Okay, you're talking to a guy who had an experience with a cryptid.
Yes, great story, by the way. Awesome.
You're talking to a guy who had experience with a UFO sighting.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking to a guy that has had several different unexplainable incidents within the paranormal that I can't explain.
Right.
So I do believe, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I wholeheartedly believe. But my belief is that it's only 1% out of 99. That it's a rare thing. It's a rare thing.
In regards to the paranormal?
Anything in the paranormal, yeah. I think it's absolutely rare. And it's not impossible. I mean, there is that slim 1% that people are experiencing stuff that
mm-hmm.
is truly unexplainable, truly unknown.
Let me ask you this: yeah. How many black swans do you need to prove that not all swans are white?
Yeah, none.
Just one.
Just one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But
just one.
The problem is, in this day and age, there's way too many false reports. Way too many.
100%. Yeah.
With technology,
I mean, the entire paranormal field, whether it's ufology or ghosts or Bigfoot or whatever, the entire field is a magnet for people who are bullshit artists, con men, or mentally ill.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a magnet. If you're fucked up in the head, or you're a bullshit artist, or you're a con man, you are automatically drawn to the paranormal.
Yeah. It fills in those gaps.
Unfortunately.
Justin, let me ask you.
Go ahead.
What are your thoughts on the ghost box?
I think it's.
You just wanted to stir him up, didn't you?
No.
It's a tool. I mean, it's a tool to test the random, aspects of what the paranormal is. Using the words that they use and how it's applied, but using the frequencies is a little questionable, or what we get out of it. But I mean, if we do enough and there's enough research with it, along with video and such, that can at least correlate with some experience or something like that, or something clear enough, it's more valid. But it is a tool. It is a tool. And I think we can use it all.
And my issue is, and I agree with you. My issue is that a lot of things, and I know Alex is gonna go, wow, I'm rubbing off on him. That there is no regulation. That these people are running wild with making claims of the paranormal
and no accountability
or evidence without any scrutinization whatsoever.
Because I'm on Periscope now, and I'm seeing all sorts of paranormal streams, and the majority of them that are going live they're using ghost boxes or some form of that type of and that's all they're using. And they're like, oh, I'm at this place that a massacre happened or something, and it's picking up random stuff, and they're just saying, here we go. And then the best
they're like, wait a second, there's no massacre in this area, and the guy's like, wait a minute.
Let the ghost box say. And let alone there's thousands of people tuning into this, or hundreds, depending on the stream.
Yeah.
Really?
And it's all
people watching it?
Yeah, I don't want to give them that much credit. But live. Yes. I can't believe one guy's name is Sean Astin. I don't know if you guys are familiar. There's all these up and coming paranormal dudes I'm not even familiar with anymore, but his name is Sean Astin, I believe. And
it's because we're vets. It's because we're vets here, man. I mean, we're so behind the times now when it becomes.
It is.
And I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Well, the majority of the guys that are even popular is because they were on a show once. They were on an episode once. I found that out. The majority of them. Oh, I did this episode with so and so. But yeah, that's what's really turning the paranormal field. I know we brought it up before about the orbs, but orbs was one. And then doing EVPs was one. And now I rarely see EVPs. It's all ghost box stuff. Because if we had valid stuff to hold on to, we would still be doing it, and we would still produce, evidence, quote unquote, or some sort of anonymous. But we don't. So the ghost box is the easiest to get on now.
Speaking of ghost shows, I mean, I agree. Most of them are it's just entertainment. It's just nonsense.
That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's one show which I thought was very good. It's called it's a Canadian show actually, called Haunted. Are you guys familiar with that?
Haunted?
It's a Canadian show.
Are you sure now?
Yeah.
What makes it Canadian?
Because the guy, it's filmed in Canada, and the guy's
Did you see the guy carrying a Tim Hortons cup or something?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh wait, perfect advertising. Sorry. I'm familiar with it. Yes, Gareth.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
So I don't have to search for it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
But the what's the main guy's name in that? I can't think of his name.
That I can't remember. I don't know his name.
But I found him very legit and convincing.
If it's Canadian, I feel sorry for you.
Mediums are like, when it comes to the TV stuff, it is something that I kind of put caution to. But if I could get more of a personal experience of somehow with this dude, I would love to validate that of some sort.
But again, some people will go, well, what's your process for validation?
And that would be, some consistency with whatever I'm trying to get out of them, or as I've experienced with other forms of intuitives, some sort of personal information that they got out of me that I didn't give it to them. They wouldn't have known otherwise.
Should there be some peer review? Review process with the paranormal, do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
I see Alex is shaking his head there. Yeah.
How would that work though? How could you police that?
Exactly.
How would that work?
It would work exactly the same way how every other organization works. It has to start from the bottom up.
Yeah. We have it. A lot of, well, it's not a lot. There's only very few, but we have parapsychological studies in various universities, and they have criteria you need to follow. Who rip whatchamacallit, oh God, the one with the $1 million
Randy.
Randy.
James Randi.
James Randi.
He had simple criteria, and you had to have met at least, I think it was, and he gave him 7. You had to at least met like 7 of the criteria to be somewhat validated or something like that.
The problem with that was that when somebody met the criteria and exceeded it, he would never hand out the money.
Supposedly, I'm aware of this.
I look at for instance, Joe. What was his name? What was his first name? Radio host, Gentile. Lou Gentile.
Lou Gentile.
Lou Gentile. He approached James Randi, and he entered the contest saying, "Look I can produce an EVP at any given time," and he went out. He basically recorded some EVPs on the spot, whatever.
With James Randi, though.
Well, no, he provided all the necessary information to like the criteria that needed to be filled. He filled it. And this was obviously just before he had passed away. James Randi didn't even entertain it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the danger of it, though. Is like if you set the rules, you could someone could provide you, say, look, I have this evidence, blah blah blah. I've met all these things, and you could be like, nah, it's not quite. Sorry, man, I'm not gonna, Well, and for James Randi. James Randi was always like, I don't believe in the paranormal. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in the afterlife. And all I can say to James Randi right now is, shoes on the other foot now, James.
But it's true. I mean, here's this guy who was a magician, right? When he started out, he was a magician, right?
Yeah.
And what he turned the other foot and started going after some of the other magicians.
Yeah.
Uri Geller.
Uri Geller was, exactly. Uri Geller was one of his victims.
His victims.
Yeah, one of his victims. Who else? Well, there was another one.
There was a bunch he went after.
There was notoriously going after Uri Geller, and there was somebody else who was some psychic dude.
That'd be bending spoons.
And the crazy thing is, though, the crazy thing is when he went after that psychic dude, the psychic dude didn't know it.
Yeah. He wasn't so psychic anymore, was he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder how psychic James Randi is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that he could do cold readings. Well, obviously, he's probably done it, enough to practice it. Because I think sometimes that's all what psychic ability is,
I agree.
In some sense, is just our brain processing that information.
You've done. I've noticed that too. There was years ago. I was all into. I have a pack right here. Who knew I would be showing this on the air?
There we go.
And I was like, maybe this was like 20 years ago. I was into it, and I was learning how to do it, and I was giving readings to people, and I was just fucking just making shit up, just like, oh yeah, that card means whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Dude, people were like, oh my god,
but that's
so
the problem with
How
everything
did you know
in the paranormal.
that? I'm just fucking winging it.
And that's one of the biggest problems, Gareth. Right there, that's it. That's one of the biggest problems I have going into a lot of these fucking paranormal groups. Exactly. Somebody will post a picture, and all of a sudden you've got like all these comments saying, "Oh yeah, I see the face and I see the and people are buying. And not only are you trying to fool the people who are reading this shit, but the person who posted that picture may have no idea. Genuinely have no idea about the picture. They want to know something. Is this paranormal?
Yeah, I think it goes in our belief, but with tarot cards, because I'm a practitioner myself.
So you know what I'm saying, Justin? You're fucking winging it, right? You're making shit up every second, and people are buying it.
Well,
Am I wrong? Be honest. Be honest.
You're a swing man.
No. I look at the cards and I get a feel for them, and I base it off what the cards are showing me in that sense.
Because I was legit making shit up, and they were like, "Oh my god, how did you know that? That's amazing!" And I'm just like, "Fucking, this bitch is fucking mental."
Maybe you were making it up. Maybe you were tapping in. Felt like, you never know. I mean, I have to admit, every time I've used them, I mean, I found all sorts of. I found a guy had a secret girlfriend based off of. Yeah, I mean, that's why I do it, because I find.
And you were giving a reading to his wife, right?
I just had to break you guys up for a sec here.
Yeah.
I had to get the promotion out for our sponsor tonight, Third Moon Brewing.
Third Moon. Steve, where can I get some of that stuff?
The latest from Third Moon Brewing is a triple bone tree. Triple IPA 10.5, and it's like drinking a Coors Light. Not really.
I look at your Instagram posts and all these amazing beers. I get so jealous.
Dude, if you want some, I can send some down to you.
Where is there anywhere I can go to just buy them, or no?
No, you can't.
Only in Canada.
Can't. No. Well, I have a lot from the States. I get a few friends that send some up from the States, but I mean, if you want, I can send you some down. I'll FedEx.
We should talk off air on this. We should start a beer trading club.
Oh,
dude, there's so many of those around.
I could send you, and you could send me, and we could do.
Now you're.
This is reminiscent of the prohibition.
Yeah, hopefully, Gord of Canada Post isn't listening to this right now.
It's doable. Think about it. It's doable.
Check this out. NFR distribution. Oh, beverage distribution.
NFR.
Aren't they a supporter of the Proud Boys, though? Seriously.
Oh, that's it. We're cut off. We've been blackballed, Alex. That's it. We've been blackballed.
Yeah.
What if you're a boy and you're just proud to be a boy? Are you screwed?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to continue on with this amazing conversation about parlor tricks and Justin's secret keychain parlor. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here live on the New Visions Radio Network, and of course simulcasted on our YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
Indeed.
And welcome back to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here live on the New Visions Radio Network. And of course, simulcasting on our YouTube channel. So however you're catching us, thank you for tuning in or watching. Tonight we have our good friends, Justin Villerreal and Gareth Davies of the Mindset Podcast. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for tuning in, joining us.
I think Justin disappeared. There he is.
Same bat channel. There's Justin. Justin has returned.
The Wolfman's back.
And now he's gone. It's Wolfman Jack coming at you, Wolfman Jack.
So you had a look at the hilarious House of Frightenstein.
I did, yeah. I saw a couple of pictures. I've never seen the show, but I looked at some of the images on Google. And I can totally see how that would be a major childhood favorite of yours, Steve.
You know what? It's actually really entertaining. Even to this day, as an adult,
is it on like DVD or on YouTube?
No, they're again, it's one of those series that was, I don't want to say abused. It never it never really had the proper archiving system behind it.
Abused.
Yeah. So I mean,
the other day I was driving in the car and my son says, "Hey, Dad, put that song on." I said, "Which song?" He said, "The one about abuse you." It says "abuse you." I'm like, "What the fuck? What song is this?" He said, "Yeah, it says abuse you." I'm like, "What music? What are you talking about?" Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams.
Oh.
I was just thinking of 9 Inch Nails when you said
9 Inch Nails.
Oh,
yeah. What you call it? I know it's not that, but it's called "Fuck You Like an Animal." I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, tone it down, Justin. The kid's watching. What's the matter with
you? Wait a sec. All right, wait a sec. Did we bring in the guy that was banned from Facebook? Oh, wait.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're gonna have to mute him.
Mr. Villerreal, I see here on your job application you were banned from Facebook.
You wanna know something, Gary? Joe Dunn, he actually didn't want to come on because he wanted to make sure I didn't bring up any political topics or anything like that. I was like, oh, I know sometimes my streams are like that. I said, but we're not going to totally get into that.
What a wuss.
Justin never gets political. What are you talking about? Come on.
That's why I don't even have him on Mindset anymore, because he bitches about stupid shit. It's all coming out today, guys. It's all coming out.
Yeah. I was like, oh, no, it's like, don't worry about that, Joe. And he's just like, yeah, I just don't like getting into those because my brand and everything. I was like, oh, I get it. All right.
My brand.
My brand.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, buy my book because it's #1 selling worldwide. I'm world renowned.
Yeah. But I got him on finally. I didn't realize he was. I guess he was kind of ghosting me for a bit. I guess. Yeah.
He's like, hey, Justin, that white van parked across your house, that's me.
Yeah. He would tell me he would come on, and then I was like, hey, what's going on? And like one time, I don't know if he got mad, but I literally lost my keys, and I was stuck outside the house here for like 2 hours. I think I told Gareth that, and I think maybe he thought I ghosted him, and maybe that's why he did it, and he made that excuse.
That's bullshit. Fuck that guy. I'm ready to go, and he's telling me this shit about his keys. Fuck that guy.
That's what I kind of thought. I was like, maybe he's just telling me this just because of that. But I finally got him on. But I could see why he probably didn't want to get in certain conversations. But yeah, we filled 2 hours, no problem. But it was interesting.
Joe's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah, but I told him, I was like, the stuff you see on my stream, I was like, that's just me doing with people like getting these conversations. I was like, other than that, I said everything else, I'm chill. I'm not gonna push you on that.
Joe, that time you tuned into my stream when I was smoking crack, that was nothing.
That was just one night.
That was just one. Alex, a serious question for you.
Sure.
What do you like to employ when it comes to investigating the paranormal?
Recorder for the moment.
For the moment, or has it been like pretty much predominant?
It's been pretty much predominantly because nothing else I can see that really does anything worthwhile.
So why the recorder then? Why the recorder?
Because I've captured some stuff on recorder, and everything else seems sort of hit and miss, more miss than hit. Whereas a recorder, at least I've captured some stuff on it, so that's something that would be good to use going forward, right?
Yeah.
EVPs work, right? That's legit. That really works.
It does. Now, how did this come into your consciousness in terms of learning that perhaps recording audio would, produce EVPs?
Just through reading books, reading other people's stories online about what they've captured with the recording, whether it be analog or digital, and going out and getting my own recorder and just trying to capture whatever I could.
How about you, Justin?
Yeah, no, I use the blah 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 blah. I use a digital recorder all the time, and I simultaneously video record. I have everything going on at once. Mm-hmm. That's it. People don't, if you've been following me, you can actually go on the Lake County or LCGH Research Group Facebook page, and I have a backpack rig I put my camera on wherever I go, and I have my recorder usually in the pocket and the camera going, and it's, you got to have that simultaneously. I haven't gotten anything that I would totally put up as something to question, and of course I got still hours of audio of other things to go through, but to use it as the paranormal tool, that's how I use it. That's how I apply it.
Well, as luck would have it, I got some EVPs loaded already.
You've got EVPs. What are those? What are EVPs?
Aren't you going to ask me how I first discovered EVP?
Yeah, I'm trying to, but Alex has already got.
I interrupted Gareth. Sorry.
Yeah, because he's got that dopey new box he wants to play with. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he loves that box, man. He loves that box. Gareth, go ahead.
I first discovered EVP when I was maybe like 10 or 11 years old. When I was at a friend's house, and we were playing around with a cassette recorder, and we were recording ourselves. Just when you're a kid, you do stupid shit. You're talking, you're recording, and doing voices and playing around and all that stuff. And when we played back the tape to listen to ourselves fooling around, at a certain point during the recording, there was a very clear male voice that came onto the tape, which really unnerved us and scared us pretty significantly because we couldn't understand where it came from. And that was my first foray into the world of EVP.
So go into that. A little bit.
I remember the voice, and I remember exactly what it said. Unfortunately, so many years has passed. I no longer have the tape. I don't know what happened. But I do remember the voice, and I do remember what it said. And I still don't understand what it means, but it was a very deep, gruff voice. And it said, "This is Abu talking. I tower over you."
Oh, gee. Wow.
And it sounded like this. I'll do my best impersonation of it because I don't have the tape. It was like, "This is Abu talking. I tower over you."
So did you ever think to look into background sort of information on this, or
are you Muslim secretly?
No, no, I'm not. But no, I mean, we were kids. We literally were like 10 or 11 years old playing with a cassette recorder.
Yeah. I know. There's been a few incidents that have happened to me when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, okay, look, I'm going to go back and sort of look into it, and it's really amazing the stuff that you can find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very unnerving. It was I remember it being scary because we played back the tape, and then, well, where did that come from? How? Because it's just us two in a room, just goofing around and acting like fools, recording ourselves, and then there's this foreign voice, which clearly is not us, coming out on the tape, and it was staggering.
What was your first, Alex? What was your first encounter with something that you considered to be paranormal?
I guess my first legitimate encounter was when my dad passed away. And
the
night he passed away, when I was trying to get some, I was trying to go to sleep. He was in the hospital, and I had this sort of like dream, vision, whatever you want to call it. And it was a hazy gray background, and in that mist, sort of grayish background, I saw my dad smiling and waving at me. And then about a few minutes later, my sister called from the hospital, just telling us that he had passed away. So that was like sort of like the first, I guess you could say, legitimate experience that I've had that I've had trouble explaining away as anything mundane.
How about you, Justin?
I think the one that initiated and brought up before it's actually almost very similar to what Alex just explained. I had a dream about 9-10 years old of my dad. Well, he was in a casket, and it was just a scenario. He ended within the casket, and about hours later, we got a phone call that he died in a car accident. But I had prior experiences. That was the first one that made me start to think like what was going on. And earliest one I could remember was when we were living in Chicago. This also happened where my dad died, was in Chicago. I saw an old lady in my closet, like this, and it's like, Mom, there's an old lady in my closet, and she, I ran out. She came in, and she's like, "Where is she?" And she wasn't there, but I know what I saw. It was an old lady kneeling in my closet. And these buildings, in that case, are like at least 100 years old, already where I was living. So there's a lot of history to that. When we're going back to finding out old experiences and kind of correlating with maybe a little bit of history.
I had an experience very similar to what Justin was describing when I was very small. I don't know how old I was, but my family, we went on vacation in the UK to a place called Great Yarmouth. And it was my family and then a family friend with their two daughters, and we were very young. We must have been like, I'm guessing 6-7 years old, and we were staying in a rental like a chalet on the seafront on the beach, and like the little houses there. And my parents were in one room, and I was sharing a bed with the daughter of the one of the other families. And in the middle of the night, I woke up, and I remember this to this day. And standing next to my bed was an old lady in a white dress with a large carnation flower on her chest, and she was looking at me, kind of smiling, in a very kind of peaceful, serene way, like looking at me and smiling. And I was terrified. I remember pulling the blankets over my head, being very, very scared. And then counting to 10 and saying, okay, when I get to 10, I'm going to jump out of bed and run as fast as I can to my parents' room. And I remember when I counted, I jumped up and I ran, and I got in, I dived into the bed with my parents. But that image has always stuck with me. And I remember telling them about it the next day, and they were like, oh, you were dreaming.
Yeah.
It was nothing. And I'm like, no, I was not dreaming. I was awake, and there was this old lady standing over the bed.
Was the carnation a image, something that represented something, perhaps?
I don't know, but that's one of the main distinctive features. She had on a white dress, and right here on her chest, she had like a massive flower, a big like carnation, like pinned to her dress, and she was looking right at me and smiling. And it wasn't like an evil smile. It was a very benevolent, nice, kind of smile. It wasn't like a mean, like, it was like a very kind of, you know what I mean? It was very kind of like it was a pleasant, nice smile. I didn't feel any ill will from her, but it was still very, very scary.
I remember when I was a kid and waking up in the middle of the night, to get up, I had to go to the washroom, and I put my glasses on, and I get up, I open my door, and the frame of the door, as I opened it, all of a sudden I see this arm with blood on it, just feeling by the frame of the door and disappearing. And it just entirely, I mean, you're a kid. What the fuck did I just see?
Yeah, man.
Is there somebody in the house? I'm thinking, okay, my parents, is something happening to my parents?
Mm-hmm.
Because I see this bloody arm go by my.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It was very terrifying. And I remember slamming my door closed because I was like, wow, okay. And then, yelling my parents. There was no answer. And I'm like, oh my God, something's happened to my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I quickly opened the door, and I gained enough courage to run from my room to my parents' room. And thankfully, when I went in there, they were okay and everything. And I said, look, Dad, there's somebody in the fucking house. This is what I just experienced and whatever else. I had them looking all over the place. Of course, nothing had, there was nothing there. Years later, fast forward years later, my girlfriend, well, wife now, we had an apartment in the same place, and I came home, I guess, about 2:00 in the morning. We were both working nights. She was still working. I got in the house, just went on the computer, started searching aimlessly. You just have those nights where you just want to just look at whatever. And this was years ago, and when the net was sort of just sort of new.
Mm-hmm.
And my cat, I had a cat at the time, was just lying down, resting on the floor in the lobby-way. And there was no lights on except for the only light emitting was from the computer screen. And then all of a sudden, there's this huge flash of light, like a burst of light, imploding, if you will. And I'm like, okay, what the hell? And I look at my cat. My cat is awake and on all fours, looking up and going, okay, it's flipping out. Okay, something really did happen because my cat's reacting to this.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at every possible thing. Like, I mean, I was looking at the light bulb in the lobby-way, the breakers, the fuses, everything. Nothing computed. Nothing would explain what just happened. Other than my cat verified the fact that something happened because my cat's reacted to it.
Yeah.
It turns out that upon doing research on that location, that somebody was murdered in the basement hallway. There's a basement hallway that connects all these units into like a laundry room, and somebody was murdered in that lobby, in that sort of corridor in the basement, and there was some sort of link to this. All really weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange. Terrifying too for a small kid to see something like that. That must have been horrific.
Exactly.
Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's what? Oh, it's 10 to 11 already. You know what? Are we gonna do a bonus or what?
I can't stay. I can't stick around too long.
What's too long?
Maybe about 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
It's early over here, so I'm good. We can keep going.
So this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna do bonus after 11. We're gonna cut things down. If you're listening to us on the New Visions Radio Network, we're cutting close. We're gonna cut at 11 o'clock, and we're going to do a bonus on the YouTube. So come join us on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/user/Nocturnal Frequency 1 to watch the bonus show. I mean, is there any other sort of experiences that you guys have had over the years that you just, wow, okay, what just happened?
I think I might have told this story on the show before, but I got punched in the face by a ghost.
Wow.
As Justin laughs.
What did you say, Gareth?
Justin's like, yes, fuck that guy. No, maybe punch is the wrong. Maybe slap is a better term. And I know it sounds ridiculous and it sounds stupid, but I swear to you, it fucking happened. It really did happen. And I know it sounds dumb, but it happened. It woke me from my sleep. Now I'm sure many of you, everyone on the show today is either married or has girlfriends or whatever, so you know what it's like to be slapped in the face.
Yes.
Right. So that's what it was like for me. I was asleep, and then I was awake, and I was awake because somebody slapped me in the face, and slapped me so hard that my left ear was, when someone really cracks you and your ears like beep, it was like that, and my face was numb from the slap, and I woke up 100% awake. No, not asleep, not half asleep, 100% awake from this slap. And as I woke up, I looked towards the bottom of my bed, and standing there was an old man. I can see him in my mind's eye. I can see him right now. And he looked right at me, and I looked right at him, and we made eye contact. The feeling I had was that we were both completely aware of each other. And I was shocked. I was astonished. And I thought, there's an old man in my room. And I reached down and I grabbed the bed covers and I pulled the bed, because I was going to get out of bed and walk over to this guy and be like, what the fuck are you doing in here? And I pulled the bed covers like this. And as I pulled the bed covers and I looked, he was gone. And there was nobody in the room.
So what's your explanation?
It was a ghost.
But is there some background that you might have found?
He was gone. And the weird thing was, while all this was happening and he was standing there and I'm looking at him and he's looking at me, there was no fear whatsoever. I didn't feel any fear. And I was ready to get out of bed and go over to him and be like, what the fuck? But when he vanished and I was lying there in bed in an empty room, it was like a cold wave kind of rushed over me. And I became scared. But after the fact, while it was all happening, there was no fear whatsoever. Nothing. But when he was gone, and I was sitting there in bed, like kind of thinking, like, what, just like a cold, and I was like, holy. Then the fear kind of grabbed me after the fact.
Yeah, because you're probably just starting to realize what the hell just happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How about you, Justin?
Nothing like that. I think the biggest one was the dream of my father dying. The second thing was seeing a ball of light in my basement in Grays Lake, Illinois. I had family over, and we were in the basement, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, and I followed it. It literally shot from one end to the other, and I turned around. I go, "Did anyone just see that?" And everyone's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Never mind." And I just it just blew my mind. It's not the first time I've seen like balls of light kind of float by. That's probably the most of it. The other things that balls, right?
He's seen balls. Yeah.
Not to my head. I was waiting for someone.
I'm glad you said it, Gareth, not me.
I was waiting. I was waiting in my
close up.
But yeah, that's the most. I think the only thing that kind of promotes me is finding things like the occult, running into stuff like that, where I've talked about that before.
Yeah, all these balls were like bouncing on my chin.
When he starts to see sausages in his dreams, is a problem.
my head over the bed. No.
His head over the bed. Oh
man.
But yeah, that was one of the strangest things, seeing the lights, and then just having things like I said, running into a place that supposedly had sacrificing going on, and finding out some sort of weird thing was going on in some silo. Yeah. The silo story I've
I remember you told me that story.
Yeah. And the other thing was a place up here. See, a lot of things that connect me are more physical than the metaphysical. We have a place up here called St. Pat's Cemetery, and you can read about it. You can look it up, St. Pat's Cemetery, Wadsworth, Illinois, or Old Mill Creek. And there's a lot of history involving the Underground Railroad, the natives that were around this area. But the main story is that, Bloody Mary originated from this area. Her name was Mary Worth. And the family that was
who was that again?
Mary Worth. If you look up Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary. Say it one more time.
Mary Worth.
I almost got him. Almost.
But yeah, she was supposedly a witch, and she was taking the slaves that were coming on the Underground Railroad and doing these rituals on them. The town found out and supposedly buried her body outside the cemetery, which is St. Pat's. And what validates that area is that there was a fire. They had development of townhomes there, and a fire ended up burning down many of the homes. And they claimed that they took a stone that might have been her headstone, and that was the curse on the land. I've been there when there was just barely just shells of buildings there, shells of old houses. Now they're all torn out. But other things have happened on that property, like a serial killer had dumped some strippers on the land there. One time I went about a year prior to that particular experience. The cops came because someone's watching this property. And this is a wooded area. If you Google the area, it's kind of secluded. So someone watched us come onto the land and called the cops, which weren't local. They had to come outside the city, and they asked us what we're doing. We told them what's up, and they told us, you really shouldn't be here at night. It's a very bad place. And they explained to us that they found a homeless man hung up in the back. And not only that, when I was in high school, this is when I first found out about this, and this is when I kind of was just more in the area of Lake County. An old classmate claimed that her sister, I think it was her stepsister, was part of a coven, and they supposedly killed her boyfriend in the woods back there. And I haven't validated any story of that, but there are stories of other bodies being found in the woods, and just there's tons of things. So. End up one night, I went there, and I ended up posting it on MySpace, talking about the history or whatever. And someone contacted me with a fake account just to get a hold of me. And I ended up doing some research and finding out some usernames and emails that it was possibly a guy from the area of Wadsworth. And whoever it was telling me not to go back there, and that they would get the authorities involved, and that I shouldn't be there because the property is this, and this. And I just explained to him, I was like, I'm doing nothing more than what was already reported in these books, which one was Ursula Bielski's Haunted Chicago, and another one was a friend of mine, Scott Marcus. I think it was Haunted Illinois. I forget the name of his book. Sorry, Scott. But he wrote about it. So all I was doing is just someone who's in the area who goes there frequently. And I explained to them, I'm like, just have me get in touch with the right people so we could talk about it, so I can clear out some of the stories, and maybe that will help, maybe dispel some of the mystery behind it. And they never got back to me. So at some point, I can't, explain how long it was. I ended up getting a phone call while I was having a bonfire at my house, and someone called, and I answered, and they're going, "Help me!" They're like, "Help me, help me!" And I was like, "What the?" What the hell? So I hung up the phone, and I traced the phone, and it goes to the St. Pat's Church, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on here?" So I end up calling the non-emergency for the police and had them go over there, and they claimed that there was nothing that was broken in, and there was no one at the church at all. And they took my information and everything, and I was like, "Listen, officer, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on here, but someone called me from this number and said help me," and that was it. And ever since then, I haven't been back there at all, digging any further than I want to. But I really do want to kind of validate whatever stories may be, given what we know. And I've my way of testing psychics, I give them pictures with very little information, and this is one of the areas. And 3 psychics I tested all came with one constant, and it was that they feel that there is some kind of cult that's back there that's related to like lawyers and judges and police. And I was like, very interesting. I wish I could find those emails because I did it through email, so I can show you guys. But yeah, that's really what keeps me going. And my personal experiences is really the physical aspect of some of these cases.
So what do you think? What do you think about the ghost box? Sorry. Gareth. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Guys, get your information out there. Gareth, starting with Gareth.
You can find me. Just open up your web browser and go to www.mindsetcentral.com. That's mindsetcentral.com, and you will find podcasts like you've never heard before.
It's a lot of balls.
A lot of balls.
Just throw your shit out there.
I got more balls on his chin than Elton John.
I got the lightning balls over here.
Chili with J.
You can find me at the anonymousradionetwork.podbean.com, and of course Twitter CrazyJ82, where you can find all my live streams for Periscope. So tune into that.
Chili with J.
Chilling with Jay.
Chili with J.
Yeah.
Dude, I sense that should be a T-shirt. Chilling with Jay.
Yeah.
I already got one of my guys telling me want to start doing merch and
Hook
stuff,
it up, dude.
Dude, so. if you get a T-shirt, I want a Chillin' with Jay T-shirt.
All right.
With Jay T-shirt.
The demand has been set. Let the market do its work.
With Jay.
Chillin' with Jay.
It's gonna have a picture of your face with a blunt sticking out.
Yeah, Chillin' with Jay. With those the little digital sunglasses. That
Yeah.
Chillin' with Jay.
And then
and the blunt.
Yep. Thug life, baby.
There you go.
Yeah. We do a little bit of that. That's all on there.
Yeah. Chilling with Jay.
Yeah. Yep.
Chilling with Jay. All right. I want to thank you for joining us this evening. Really, really cool discussion. And I'm sure we'll do this again.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure. Guys, thank you for tuning in. And you know what? Justin and Gareth, thank you for joining us. You have been listening and watching Nocturnal Frequency Radio here live on the New Visions Radio Network, and of course our YouTube channel. Thank you, and we'll see you next weekend. Next Sunday night.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Have a good night.
What the hell was that?